I am so excited to be here to talk with you about the B word. Yes, boundaries. And I have my friend Tammy here, and she is going to be one of the amazing speakers at the summit. We actually got connected because Tammy saw one of my videos on YouTube and then sent me a message about connecting. And then we got on a call, and I found out she would be a great person to be one of the speakers. So I'm so excited that you're going to be able to do that. Tammy, just introduce yourself just a little bit. Say how you help in the world and anything you want to share about you, just a couple minutes, and then we'll talk about boundaries.
Okay. Boundaries, the B word. I love you call it the B word. So my name is Tammy Vincent, and I'm basically a trauma-informed ACOA empowerment coach. And I know that's a lot of words, but it's really just to say that I help people deal with the muck of having grown up with a dysfunctional family, and I help them uncover the limiting beliefs and the mindsets that go along with not being quite as treated as you should have, let's put it that way. So that's what I basically do. I'm an international speaker. I speak to corporations on being trauma informed leadership. I really just try to spread the wealth as much as possible because I spent 30 years of my own trauma healing, and now I have this like huge box of tools that I can help people with. But when I heard you say like the B word, I was like, "Oh, that's my thing, girl," because when you grow up, you either had your boundaries so violently violated or you didn't even have any. So this is a great topic, and I can't wait to be in the summit. I'm super excited. So thank you.
Super. Yeah, I'm super excited as well. And so for a lot of us, you're talking about trauma informed, especially with kiddos. We don't even realize when it's happening that it's trauma or that it was breaking this boundary. But we almost all of us have gone through something in life. And when we look back on it, we're like, oh, that was not okay. And so when you think about boundaries and as you're talking to adults now and they're having to get through that muck, what is maybe, and don't give away what you're going to talk about at the summit, but what is maybe one thought or thing that somebody could start to think or ponder about that could actually make a difference on boundaries for them if they're still going through the muck?
Well, a lot of if they're still going through the muck, meaning they're still young adult.
No, they're trying to get through, like they're going backwards and they're trying to clean up the muck.
Okay,
So
so
they're in the muck like that. Yeah.
I think the biggest question, first of all, some people don't even understand that there's so many different kind of boundaries. So I would just tell people, first of all, is to ask yourself, because this is the biggest one. Am I comfortable saying no when I want to say yes, or saying yes when I want to say no? Because that is the first thing. And it's like that's the biggest thing is people can't say what they don't feel. They just are they're tied up in this entanglement of what everybody else thinks they want to do. So that's the biggest question I tell people to ask yourself. Do you have trouble saying yes when you want to say no? Yes. And do you have trouble saying no when you want to say no?
Yeah. That's so true. I just recorded a bunch of videos yesterday for the summit, little short videos, and I made them humorous because we all have so much heavy stuff in the world going on. But if you say yes, one of the videos I did, it's the funniest one, I think. And I pretend like I'm sneezing, and then I take my hat off and I say yes. And then I put my hat back on and I say, I just sneezed. And then I take my hat off and I say, I thought you were asking me for a favor. So your default is to say yes, and you don't even think about it. You might have a boundary issue that you want to consider.
It,
Yeah.
that's a good example. I love that.
Yeah.
But it's true. It is so true because I don't know. People, you just don't know what you don't know. I remember the first time somebody looked at me when my husband said something to me, and they looked at me like with these wide open eyes, and they're like, Tammy, people can't talk to you that way. I was like, really?
I,
I was like, that's new to me. They're
there's
like, no, you're allowed to say, shut your yap, mama. like, you're allowed to shut people up when they treat you like that. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool.
yeah.
But it's just crazy.
So I've done a lot of training, like you talked about, you have 30 years, and I don't have that much of training. I had that much of trauma, but I've been on this journey for 10 years and I've done a lot of different things, a lot of different programs. And so I have a lot of tools in my toolbox too. And one of my favorite things though is being able to learn to say, when somebody says something to me, it doesn't make it true. I get to reflect. And then I can say, I receive that, or that is not for me. And that's a way of having a boundary around what you put inside and what you allow and what you call your own. And so just because somebody says something does not make it true.
Absolutely. And
Mhm.
that's part of the problem, us I don't wanna say us little traumatized children, but that's part of the problem with growing up in this dysfunctional, toxic environments is you're taught that your word doesn't matter, everybody else's does. So it's really a whole lifetime of just reframing the things that people say and questioning them. Like you said, you're allowed to question and be like, "Huh, wonder how I actually feel about."
Yeah, it's just like, well, is that true? And if it is true, what am I going to do about it? And I'll tell you, during my beginning of my training, I had a gentleman come up to me. Had been in this intensive training over several weekends. And this gentleman came up to me in between sessions. And he said to me, is it okay for me to share something that I see in you? And I said, sure. And he said, I see that you love God and you love people, but it seems like you left off the last two words of that scripture as yourself. He said, I don't think you do a very good, you don't love yourself, you love everybody else. And in that moment, I was shocked. I was like, wait, I actually said, wait a minute, is that true? Is he right? And if he is right, what am I going to do about it? And so if he wasn't right, I could just take it. I say, take it or toss it. But in that case, he was right. And because someone had the courage to say something to me, my eyes were open to the idea of, oh, wait a minute, I really don't love myself. And that one thing put me on this journey to learn to create a life I love. And so don't be afraid to listen to people that have your best interest at heart, but also know just because they say it doesn't mean it's true.
I look at it like an Al-Anon meeting. Take what you like or a 12-step program. Take what you
Yes,
like and leave the rest because it's
yes,
all up for perception and how you perceive it, how they might not have even said it that way. Like how you perceive it might not how we even be how they intended it. You never know.
yes, for sure. It's with communication, people say one thing, but we hear something else because we're hearing it through our own filters and our own experiences.
Right.
So I'm really excited that you're going to be part of the summit. And I will make sure that the link for the women to sign up will be around the video here. And ladies, when you click through, it is free to attend the summit. But you do have to register your name and your email. Put your phone number if you want text reminders, but you don't have to do that. And the moment you click submit, and you're going to go to another page where you'll set up your accounts where you get access to all the the participant guides, all the goodies, everything about the summit and so much more. So I am so excited that you're going to be one of our speakers, Tammy.
I am too. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You too.